I'm only going to tell you that Tony La Russa helped me a lot. He helped all of us a lot. This was back when the White Sox, only the third year of the Reinsdorf ownership when I got here, and third year for Tony under Jerry, because he had worked for Bill Beck. The White Sox had some work to do off the field. They had to rebuild the fan base. They had to build the business base. They had to get the television ratings up. They had to sell tickets. And they had to win ball games. The manager helped them do all of that. After a tough loss, who wants to talk to the writers and the radio guys? Come on. Tony did it every day. He reached out to the fans. He was never, ever anything but interested and cooperative in how he can help the Chicago White Sox do their best. On and off the field. A real tribute to him as a gentleman and as a baseball manager. Of course, then he went on to manage Oakland. He only won a World Series there, only went to 3 in a row. Went on to manage the Cardinals, only won 2 World Series. He's the only man to win a World Series in both leagues. He is second all-time to Connie Mack in games managed, and Connie owned the club so he could manage for 50 years. He is third all-time in wins, as Milo mentioned earlier. I'm going to stay off the stats. His biography is on page 10. It's about a quarter of what it should be. We could do a whole magazine on it. It's on page 10 of your program. It is my pleasure to introduce my friend, our friend, anybody who loves baseball, especially in Chicago, someone to whom we owe a debt for that 83 club that I'm not sure we can ever repay, but that's another story. First team ever to drop $2 million, Tony managed them, and they won the darn thing going away. The future Hall of Famer, Tony La Russa, ladies and gentlemen. Tony is being inducted into the Pitch and Hit Club's Lou Boudreau Hall of Fame.
Thank you very much. I think we're going to do Q&A, which I'm very comfortable with, and I haven't managed for a year, so I haven't been talking to the press. I'm a little out of shape. I enjoy it. I would enjoy it. But I do want to hope that you join me in congratulating a pat on the back for the job that Tom is doing. A little bit tongue-in-cheek, because he made one mistake that I caught. When he had the Cubs video, and he made a comment about Bartman, and there was some applause. And he was surprised by that. I think we all know the people who were applauding were the Sox fans. And then, one of the things I enjoyed the most as a manager of the White Sox was the competition with the Cubs. I mean, our fans did not like the Chicago Cubs. And I think the Cubs kind of tolerated us, but we didn't like them. And I've never really forgotten that. I went to St. Louis, and I was very comfortable with that rivalry. I also want to say hello and thanks to a very special lady for all those years at Comiskey Park, Nancy Faust. She showed great restraint, because I almost got fired like a dozen times, and they kept asking her to play taps. And she said, well, she'll wait till I got fired. Milo, thank you very much. Those introductions have been a great deal. And I think of longevity. I mean, that's what I've learned in the sport. It's hard to be good in this game. You get to the big leagues, you win one game, get one hit. It's really hard, but you do it over time, and that's when you get recognition. The longevity that Milo's had. But I mean, I'm very sincere with this Pitch and Hit Club. To see the outpouring of fans, that, especially weather like this, that have filled this place. For my 2 cents, you don't know how important it is that you maintain that tradition. All around this country, clubs like this are losing interest and backing off. Writers, there's only 3 left. And I was in 1979, the first year I was here during the winter after they kept me for 80. I came here, and I had one of the most embarrassing situations of my life. I'm not a humorous guy. And I had done it, I think I did the one in Joliet, and I was real serious, and people were just snoozing, and it was just terrible. I was sweating, you know, it's just terrible to see that. So right before I came up here, our pitching coach at the time, Ron Shaer, gave me a joke. He said, look, man, just break the ice. Let them see it once in a while, you'll laugh. I said, yeah, it's good. I swear it's true. It's a good joke. But I was so nervous. What do you think happened when I got to the punchline? I forgot that Dad comes up. People ask me my most embarrassing moment as a manager, and I tell them it was a pitch hit club of 1979. And so they said to me, all the other mistakes he's made in baseball as a manager, like the telephones in Game 5 of the World Series, I said, not a big deal. Forgetting the punchline. I can think about it now, and I just got like frigid. I went, oh my God, what do I do now? And then I just walked off. And I haven't been invited back till 2013. But I encourage you, I talked to Pete and Ken, everybody, and I know how Roland has been involved with maintaining the interest here, and I just put my 2 cents in. If you got any credibility from me, please maintain this tradition. It's very, very important. I commend Mike Rizzo for his career. Now he's the boss of the Washington Nationals, and he got the team. He was part of getting the team to the postseason. And one thing we learned about Mike, if he makes a decision, he's going to stay with it. And you'd be surprised in our game, there are some guys that aren't smart, they don't stay around long. There are some smart guys that make decisions and don't have the guts to back them up. The guys that are smart and have guts, they win. And they got in the postseason. I would bet on the Nationals, maybe beating the Cardinals next time and getting into the championship series. But congratulations, Mike, for having both those smarts and guts. You know, we've been here this weekend celebrating the 30-year anniversary of the 83 Club. It's people ask me, and I'm honest, not because of Chicago, the happiest, the best memories I have as a manager, not to disrespect St. Louis or Oakland, it was 1983. The combination of great veterans, a wonderful coaching staff, young guys that came along and wanted to learn. And I've been reminded all weekend, and today Kachori had this reminder about, I hope you weren't there at the seminar to hear this. If you haven't, because I'm going to say it. The club had a lot of great times, and they had this thing they would do like on buses or team parties. Remember Johnny Carson had this Carnac thing where you get an envelope and then you'd have the answer and then you'd have to ask the question. So all of a sudden here's the answer. He would say, or somebody in the bus, catch 22. What would be the question? If you had 100 balls to Ron Kittle, the answer would be... We beat Kitty up all year long. I mean, it was brutal, and he tried to come back, and he had no chance. And I saw it again today. I just reminded me what a great time I had there. And I love the White Sox. It's a family situation. I learned it. I thank Roland and Bill for giving me a chance. I don't know why Jerry kept me around, but he did, and it worked out all right. And then, in 1992, with the A's, had a chance to be a teammate of a Hall of Famer who's going to be introduced in a little bit, Rich Goose Gossage. And I thought you would enjoy a couple of my reflections. Intimidation is a really important part of the game. I mean, like football especially, but baseball. And a pitcher can intimidate a hitter. How? Well, you can be intimidated because he's going to embarrass you, like, 3 pitches strikes you out. That's embarrassing. That's intimidating. You can get intimidated because if you hit them around a little bit, some guys just take it. Other guys get upset. Their nostrils start flaring like, man, I'm not happy and something bad's going to happen if the next guy walks up there. Don't get them upset. And other guys were just wild. And if they hit you, it hurts. Goose had all 3. Except that I wasn't afraid of him, because I was a manager. I didn't have to hit against him. So in 1992, he's a fierce competitor, and he doesn't like trips to the mound. And I usually walked out there and I got him. And so I go up there one time, he's getting beat around, and I walk out there, he says, "You're not taking me out, are you?" I said, "Yeah, give me the ball." He says, "Well, I'm not tired." And I said, "Our outfielders are." I'll tell you how special Goose was. He got hurt. It just rarely happens. And we made the playoffs in 1992. And Dave Duncan and I in the coaching. And he didn't want to be a part of it. He was, if you're not contributing, he didn't want to be around it. We begged him, and he finally accepted. Please be in uniform, because his presence in the postseason as a teammate and a leader would mean that much. I mean that sincerely. He's a great teammate, well-deserved Hall of Famer, and I had the pleasure of being on his team for just a short time. Goose. I think the last thing, and I don't know if anybody wants to ask a question, but I will tell you I'm not a Moneyball guy. Somebody asked me about the movie, I said, good acting. And it really, really reminds me when you come to something like pitching, because this type of dinner has honored scouts, player development for years. There's a little place for the metrics, but when you see teams win, like the Giants won, like the year the Nationals had, you prepare and you learn a little bit, but you win because you've got great competitive guts. And for anybody that thinks that Moneyball and metrics is anything more than just a good tool, and you can use that little printout to dictate what's going to happen when two teams play against each other, please take my word for it. If it's worth anything, you bet on guts and character, chemistry, competitiveness, toughness, you win. You bet on that printout, you get beat. Now, if that sermon anybody got